the predictions through injury, postponements, and an ex-Eubank trainer in Adam Booth. Now with Williams, many subplots and genuine excitement as our leading middleweights lock horns in a tantalising treat to kick off this fabulous February of boxing. Eubank Jr. in the sparkling red and the white, blue and pink of Liam Williams, the hard man from the Rhondda Valley. And what support, Enzo, your countryman has.
Yeah, fantastic atmosphere. It has been all night. Every time he's been shown on the screen, the crowd's applauded. They've gone mad. And you can just feel the electricity in here tonight. This is a big, big fight.
You're already both men trying to establish the jabs. Williams finding the jab to the body. Good jab there from him. Again, Eubank looking for the jab to the body too. Both guys trying to suss their distance out here.
A cacophony of noise. It really is packed into this Motor Point arena. Thousands of fans heavily behind Liam Williams. But Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't mind one little bit. He says he'll have an answer to everything, whatever Williams throws at him. But Alan Booth, a canny trainer in the corner, what does he come up with?
I think Williams is boxing here on the outside. You know, I think they expected, maybe Eubank expected Williams to come out aggressively and to be rushed forward, but he's setting things up. He's patient here, he's calculated, everything's working off that jab.
Well, remember, the dude defeats in Eubank's career to Billy Joe Saunders and George Groves, who's here tonight, who outboxed Eubank. And I think maybe, Enzo, they're going to mix it up, the Williams team, with trying to utilise the jab cleverly and come in pockets of fire.
Yeah,
what will Eubank Jr. do?
Yeah, Liam's got an underrated jab. He's going to keep that jab in his face, offset him. Every time Eubank moves to attack, a little jab will put him off. Eubank needs to draw Liam into a fight. He needs to get into his game. The last couple of fights, Eubank for the first couple of rounds tried to box like Roy Jones. You can't box like Roy Jones. You can't mimic someone like Roy Jones. So he needs to get to his game, draw Liam into a fight where his uppercuts is relentless with a good shot.
Good counter shot there from Eubank Jr. And Williams, well, he was going in with a good jab, but he just got caught and he's blinking profusely. And that was against the run of the first round. And Eubank Jr. now senses blood. 14 seconds left in the first, and what a dramatic start. Just when Williams seemed to be getting it going behind his jab, he's caught, he's floored, and now what a shift in the plot.
Again, they're caught again.
He's hurt again, and the underestimated power of Eubank. Well, how about that for a first round?
I was just going to say, a really good start from Liam Williams. He took the centre of the ring, he was pushing Eubank back, wasn't reckless, wasn't gung-ho, was patient, was calculated, was setting his attacks up, and then he just walked onto a left uppercut. I'll have to see the replay, didn't really see it properly from this angle.
I think it was a check left up. He'd been looking for it. He'd been looking for it for the first round. I said he didn't want to box like Roy Jones, but that was Roy Jones-esque. There was a check left up, catch him coming in, which he'd been trying all fight.
It was a jab, and it absolutely silenced this crowd in an instant.
In the jab, Liam jumped onto the shot. It's a little twisted. It's just a straight jab, but Liam's obviously walked onto it and doubled the power on it. You know, it was a great shot by Eubank.
So there's another jab that he walked onto. That stiffened his leg as well. That was after the knockdown. So, you know, he felt that one. You could see the leg work there. That shook Liam Williams.
A great deal of talk in the build-up about Liam Williams' weight as well. He said he felt super strong last night. He packed it back on, but how difficult was it for him to make 11-6? For Chris Eubank Jr., it's more natural. He's been up at super middleweight where he didn't feel as strong. So a fascinating beginning to this middleweight duel between Eubank Jr. and Williams. Behind the jab, Enzo.
Yeah, he's back. He was doing well in the first round. He sort of found his range a bit quicker than Eubank Jr. But this is high-level boxing. One mistake, you paid the ultimate price, and he paid the price. He jumped in, he got caught with a stiff, solid jab, and that jab of him coming in doubled the power as well.
Jab to the body from Williams, back to the Adam Booth tactics, and what's Roy Jones Jr. come up with? They've got this chemistry over the last couple of years out in Pensacola on the farm as the Welsh fans try to get behind Williams again.
Eubank Jr. he's looking for them pot shots. He's looking to catch Liam coming in, which is pretty much Roy Jones, what he used to do. Hand nice and low, ready to snap the jab or throw the hook as someone's coming in. Liam needs to start thinking that just a little bit more. I know he's jabbing to the body, but I'd like to see him thinking a little bit more. Maybe get Eubank to throw first.
Down he goes again. Williams in the second round, and that was heavier. And the count's at 6, and he's in trouble here. Liam Williams, and Chris Eubank Jr. is turning in quite a performance in this acid test. He said he would demolish Liam Williams. He'll walk through it. Back comes Williams, and he seemed just to shake Eubank, but Williams is the one who's hurt.
I think he's struggling with the speed of the counter punches here from Eubank. Again, here with these shots, he's not seeing them and they're hurting him.
He just looks razor sharp tonight, Eubank Jr. He's catching Liam with shots coming in.
He's in and out, his jab looks spot on, and he looks so cool and relaxed as well. Eubank Jr.
Yeah, very relaxed, and that's where the power's coming from. Just relaxed and planting his feet and just stamping that jab in, stiff jab.
He's looking a different class, Chris Eubank Jr. I think he's been angered by the fact that people felt he's not worthy of world title opportunities again, but on this performance he very much is. So far, so good for Team Eubank.
I think what Liam's struggling with at the moment, with that low left hand of Eubank Jr. He's throwing a jab from the hip, he's throwing the hook from the hip, he's throwing the uppercut from the hip. It's just coming outside of Liam's professional vision. He can't really see the shots coming.
I think the right hand hurt him there. I think it was just a short left hook which caused the knockdown, but that was more balanced. I think it was the right hand which did the damage.
They don't really seem that heavy shots. So, we talked about the weight. So
I think that's right. The resistance doesn't look great on Williams.
I've seen Liam grow up from a youngster. He's always been solid. He always had a granite chin. Some of these shots don't look really powerful. So maybe he has been problems with the weight. Maybe he has cut that little bit too weight, which is, as Matt will tell you, that's a telltale sign.
Trying to get his legs going again, the warrior from Wales, the 29-year-old Liam Williams in fight number 28. It's the 34th for Chris Eubank Jr. He's had good wins. The one over James DeGale may be the best, but this would be the career performance that will propel him into surely a world title shot this summer.
At the moment, Liam's just struggling with that little bit of extra speed. And like I said, with the way he's snapping those shots from the hip, they're hard to read, they're hard to see. He can turn it into an uppercut, he can turn it into a hook. And what Eubank's doing at the moment, he's just taking those little step backs as Liam's coming in. He's playing a counter-punching game. Liam's attacking, and he's just making him drawing on the shots.
I mean, he started quite well. Williams, he settled down, he was jabbing the body. He looked like he was, a good, positive start, but then the knockdown just seemed to change everything. Now Eubank knows he can hurt him. He's got that patience. He's just sitting back, picking for that shot, looking for that counter, trying to time him on the way in.
Yeah, the knockdown come from a little rush. Liam was boxing well, he's keeping good distance, jamming the body, jamming the head, making Eubank think. As soon as he rushed in, he got caught, and that's changed the fight.
He's very fast with his jab tonight as well, Eubank Jr. He's been saying all week how great he feels now with that extra time with Roy Jones Jr. during the pandemic, and he's had such a tough year as well with the tragic loss of his brother Sebastian, and he's gone back to Roy Jones. I think he's found sanctuary with Jones, and he respects him because of everything he's achieved.
glad Liam's boxing like this for this round, keeping his distance, not making too many mistakes, not jumping in, clearing his head a little bit. He got 2 knockdowns in 2 rounds. He needs to clear that head a little bit. So he's doing the right thing. He's keeping out the distance. He's not rushing in. He's not falling in. Not giving Eubank Jr. that opportunity to catch him that quick counter.
No, exactly. Just needs to settle down now, doesn't he? Just clear his head and build his confidence back. Get that jab going.
Right hand from Williams, but he just slips and the balance is all over as he bangs his chest and says, come on then. There's the anger. And is that what Adam Booth says needs to be controlled?
Yeah, I spoke to Adam there, little key words, and we would do it as much as you like in the gym. In a fight, it's different atmosphere. Liam's a proud man. He's been put down twice. He really wants to get that back. But I'm glad he come out this round like this. He kept his distance. He had made no mistakes. Eubank still boxing well, catching little counters, but he's not catching them with the same velocity as he done in the last round.
The posturing from Eubank Jr. in front of his dad at ringside. Feinting Williams, better with the jab. Eubank trying to get another couple of right hands off, and he catches him again. And Mark Lyson has to swing the right man round, and Roy Jones Jr. is in there, and there's some aggro here.
I think Liam's cut.
Yeah, I think there's a cut by the left eye as well. They're getting to work on that. Such a difficult start for Liam Williams to come back from.
It's the worst possible start he could have had.
Yeah, I mean, he's just struggling to get back into the fight now, isn't he? With those 2 knockdowns, he's felt the power as well. Legs probably a bit unsteady. Just got to try and settle down here.
I think it was a bit of afters then with the 2 of them, and obviously Eubank sort of cut Liam with that last punch.
Mark Lyson reading the riot act in front of this passionate crowd. Everybody wants to see boxing back in a big way, and the Welsh fans coming to get behind their man from Clynach Vale, Liam Williams. But 2 knockdowns in the first 2, and Eubank says, come on then. He left himself wide open. He's got a great chin, but he can't be taking decisions like that.
No, Eubank's trying to goad him in, and he's looking for that quick counter left hook as Williams comes in with the right hand.
I think that's the plan. That's what he worked on from the start. You could see him looking for that check left hook from the first round. So I think Matt was totally right. He's trying to get Liam down. He's trying to get him to go in, team catching him, quick counters.
Williams trying to up the ante here. Is he going to have to drag Eubank somewhere deep? We know Eubank is so strong and never been halted, and down again with another shot, and it was beautifully timed by Eubank, and he knows it. They've worked on that, and that's the 3rd knockdown within 4 rounds, and Liam Williams just can't cope with the superior skill and speed here of Eubank Jr.
Yeah, I think it's the speed that's struggling with him though. Better shot there from Williams, but yeah, I think it's the speed he's struggling with here.
And the timing as well, that timing and them shots coming in.
Yeah, accuracy. Brilliant from Eubank Jr. Again trying to goad Williams in. He wants him to walk onto another. He says, come on.
That's 3 10-8 rounds now as well. Eubank can afford to be even more patient, which means Williams is going to have to take more chances, which means he's going to walk onto more shots. So, it's not a good situation for Williams right now.
The dream chance turning into a nightmare here for Liam Williams in front of his home crowd. He's a proud man. He's a tough man. And he has the qualities as well as we've seen, but He's being outclassed, Enzo.
Yeah, Liam is a really underrated boxer, but that knockdown has changed everything from the start. And now with the 3 knockdowns, he's having to push. If he wants to win the fight, he has to push the fight, which leaves himself more open for Eubank's game plan, which looks to the fact that he's trying to catch him coming in. That's where his power is developing.
Talking to him in there as well, Eubank Jr. might get a ticking off from Mark Lyson in a minute, but everything else just going according to the Jones Jr. script. Because people said, could he do what Roy Jones does? No, he's a different fighter, but he's executing the plan perfectly.
Yeah, I feel like you say, the fact that he's so, with the 10-8 rounds now, and the fact that he has to chase the fight, has to take risks, he's going to play into Eubank's hands even more. Yeah, I mean, again, he's just timing him with that jab. He's kind of lunging with it, really coming in with it. He's really kind of committing to it, and then Eubank just timing him, stiff jab, and it's causing the knockdowns.
He dropped from that shot from the first round, whether it's a check left hook or that jab. You know, he's waiting. Basically, what he's doing, he's waiting for Liam to lunge in. He's waiting for Liam to attack. He knows by Liam attacking, he's going to double his punch power. The timing is right, the speed is right. You know, Liam's really struggling.
Well, sizzling action so far in this middleweight battle. Eubank Jr. standing strong, and now shifts it up. Look at that card, 40-33, 3 10-8 rounds on match card. He's in dire straits. Williams, what does he do? And Eubank just trying to go through the motions here and on the front foot looking for the uppercuts too, Enzo.
Yeah, he is. Like I said, from the start, I think the plan is with drawing Liam onto shots, he's throwing little feints, he's throwing little movements, he's got that hand by his side, so he's enticing Liam to come in. He's enticing Liam to attack, and he's throwing in quick shouters, quick counters, doubling the power on his shot as Liam's coming in. Very smart work by Eubank, and Liam's having to chase the fight now, which is playing more into his hands.
And that's the last thing he wanted to be doing, you know, walking into someone who can counter-punch him, who's got a bit the superior speed.
It's more that timing for me, you know. You've set his stall out. He wants to time Liam coming in, and that's what he's doing. With them uppercuts, he's throwing them from the hip. Liam's struggling to see. Not a Eubank boxes like his father, but he's got that same attitude, the crowd booing him, like when Eubank boxed in Germany against Roccagiani. He embraced it, he loved it. I think Chris's first loss was against Thompson, when he actually got cheered going into the ring. You know, that was he fed off the crowd, and Eubank Jr. is feeding off the crowd tonight.
Yep, loves the hostility, so comfortable in his own skin, so confident, and whipping in these uppercuts. Williams trying to negate the distance, throwing his own hooks, but Eubank just wants him to walk onto one.
Yeah, really trying to walk him onto those uppercuts, really bending his knees. Eubank and driving a lot of power through with those.
There's an aura as well, isn't there, about Junior tonight, as though he's doing everything in his own zone. And Williams just has to throw caution to the wind, really, if he's going to claw his way back into even having a chance of forcing a knockout win. He's 7 behind on your card, and we haven't even gone through 5.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't want to have the 5 rounds having to be chasing the fight, but that's exactly the position he finds himself in now.
Whatever game plan they had coming in, it's all changed now. It's all about pure heart from Liam now. He has to push the pace. He has to take chances. You know, if he wants to win this fight, he has to put Eubank under a lot of pressure.
Good jabs from Williams, and he's got plenty of heart. We know that.
Much better run from Liam.
There's a lot of love in the house Yeah, but there's one man who'll be very satisfied with what he's seen. The legend that is Chris Eubank Senior, the original. And there's his son, Junior. He never wanted him to fight. But you know what? You tell your kids one thing and they do the other. Don't they, Enzo?
They certainly do.
And he's made a good prize fighter, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. You know, he's done his own way. He wanted to come over to. I think he went over to America. He wanted to fight. He wanted to be a fighter, and you know that shows the sort of attitude he has. You know, and he's boxing really well tonight. He's got a game plan, and the whole point of having a game plan is whether the fighter can execute it, and he's executing it brilliantly.
Plenty of the Eubank family here to cheer him on. Sister Emily, and also Harlan, his cousin, who had a win earlier on tonight. He's undefeated. There's something in the genes, Matt.
I'd really like to see Liam now start throwing a lot more feints. You know, he needs to start getting Eubank to throw first. So at the moment, when he's throwing first, he's getting countered. So just pop a couple of feints, make Eubank throw first, then come in behind with a double jab.
So when Williams attacks, he really commits to it, and that's why that's adding to the power of Eubank's counters.
Really showing the bottle we know he's all about, the Welshman. Blood coming from the left eye. Being countered at times, having to pick himself up off the floor in rounds 1, 2 and 4. But still he comes forward, trying to generate something. He had a good round the last round.
Yeah, he had a good round. He had a good round this round as well. Good round. And Liam's got very good boxing IQ, but unfortunately for him at the moment, he has to change everything. He has to force the fight. But I'd just like to see him come in with a few feints. He needs Eubank to throw first, so he can come in behind and sort of counter Eubank.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree there. You know, if he can feint Eubank, get him to commit, slip outside it, then come in, he's safe. Then once Eubank's already let his hands go, that's the time when Liam Williams can look to close the distance.
He needs to be an aggressive counter puncher. He needs to come forward, he needs to throw them points, and like you said, get Eubank to throw first and counter Eubank, which is easier said than done at the moment.
Looking for a slashing right hand, Eubank. Williams with the jab to the body. I mean, you don't have those two excellent fights with Liam Smith and go in with Demetrius Andre. If you're not a top-level fighter, which Liam Williams is, the question mark is who can go on and become a world champion. And at the moment, on what we're seeing, it's Eubank Jr. who's going to get that opportunity, but not even halfway through.
Let's see Liam Williams step to his right a little bit more and maybe try and force Chris Eubank to move the other way as well.
Yeah, good work from Williams.
No, Chris is comfortable moving to his left. I see Williams move to his right and try and force Eubank to move the other way.
Spot on, Matt. He seems to be just following a little bit at the moment. They're cutting that ring down, making that ring small, cutting off Eubank's movement, sort of following.
Adam Booth, who had one plan before this, but 3 knockdowns in the first third of the 12-rounder, changes it all. However, Liam Williams has had a decent last couple of rounds, and he goes into the second half of this highly anticipated middleweight duel with Chris Eubank Jr. Still there, still throwing, still thinking, and still hoping.
Yep, everything's up that left hand from Eubank, everything's up that jab, off the jab, left hook, the left uppercut. Try and force him round the other way.
Not Lyson just telling Liam Williams to watch the head, and we've got a lot of talk from Chris Eubank Jr. how Williams is a dirty fighter. Haven't seen that though. We've seen pretty clean stuff as he tries a right hand, and Eubank comes back with an uppercut that just misses. Look at Williams trying to get to him.
He's sort of got that angry mood now, and to be honest, he needs that sort of move, but he's got to be controlled a little bit. He's got to control that anger, because if he starts falling in again, if he starts lunging in, he's going to get caught again. But he does need to put the pressure on.
On the back foot, Chris Eubank Jr. utilising the ring, waiting for the uppercuts, and Williams cranking up the heat and the pressure.
That's what Liam needs to do. He needs to get close to Eubank, but he needs to tuck his hands up, come in, throw some feints, get in close, rough Eubank. I know Eubank's tough as nails. Rose showed that over the years, but this is what Liam needs to do. You can't give him that distance, that space, that opportunity to catch him as he's coming in.
I think he's just got to cut the ring off a little bit more too. At times he's following Eubank around a little bit too much here.
It looks like he's going to catch him up against the ropes, and then Eubank finds a way. Very good on his feet, the Brighton boxer.
Nice right hand there from Eubank, just a counter over the top.
Working hard, Mark Lyson, the referee.
Yeah, especially these last couple of rounds when Liam's trying to get close. Like we said, he's having to force the fight. He's having to push the pace. It's a wall of attrition for Liam now. He needs to give it everything he's got. He needs to drag Eubank into a fight. He needs to rough him up.
Take into the trenches. Utilise this crowd and his own belief, Liam Williams, as he tries to pin you back, and it's getting rough in there now. And he's got to be careful, Williams. Maybe another point. He probably needs a knockout already, Williams, but tough round.
You see Liam getting closer and roughing him up. It's just making things uncomfortable for Eubank. And to be honest, that's what he needs to do. He needs to throw Eubank off his rhythm. So far, he's nice and cool, he's nice and calm. He's got a plan. He needs to get taken out of that plan. And as I said, it's going to be a lot harder to do than actually saying it to do.
See there, not much in punches landed, but it is the knockdowns that are making the difference on the card. However, how many of the last three has Liam Williams got? Because on Matt's unofficial card, I'm seeing 3, 5, 6 and 7 all to Liam Williams. I think that makes it a 4 deficit with 5 to go.
Yeah, I mean, by the knockdowns, it's been a close fight, hasn't it?
It's been a very close fight. The knockdowns have been the difference, but Liam's had to change his style, he's had to change his tactics, probably have to change his plan with it. But he is dragging himself back into this fight. He won the last 3. He made things a bit tougher for Eubank. He's not giving him the space. And what I found as well, last couple of rounds, he's been taking shots better as well.
Eubank trying to plant his feet there, but Williams was having a right old wrestle with him, trying to utilise that strength. Is he strong at middleweight? He seemed so happy after the weigh-in. I think he wanted to try it on with Eubank Jr. right there and then on Friday night. Had to wait another 24 hours. He's been burning for this fight, Enzo, and you can see it.
Yeah, he's been quite calm all week, which I've been shocked with. But tonight now, the crowd in here, he did start boxing well, but that one split second he rushed, he got caught. That's just changed the whole fight, changed the whole game plan, especially the second round and the 4th round knockdowns. He's having to chase the fight. He's having to put a lot more pressure on Eubank than I think they intended. I think the plan was to box. That's all out the window now.
I thought the first knockdown, I thought it was just a balance thing. He walked onto a shot, he timed him, but actually there was a shot after that, and the leg stiffened to Liam Williams, so he definitely was hurt in that first round.
Maybe just a fact of just getting caught cold and recovered, because you have seen like he's been taking shots better the last couple of rounds.
Uppercut from Eubank Jr.
Yeah, good shot.
Next gen, as always, on the back of those trucks. With his children's names.
But again, it's all coming from the left side of Eubank, the jab, the left hook.
Hand from Williams. Eubank postures, but this is some grit and determination and forcing his way back into this, the Welshman.
Yeah, you know, I never doubted Liam for a second, the heart he's got, the determination he's got. He wanted to win this fight, he wants to do big things in boxing. You know, he's having to claw his way back, and he has.
Now he's annoyed about a clash of heads. Swelling beneath the eyes. Eubank still pretty fleet of foot, but how many of these last 3 or 4 rounds has he won?
Another decent round for Liam Williams. I think he was the busier of the two.
The problem Liam's got though, trying to score a knockdown, because Eubank is always moving on the back foot, he's always riding shots. So he caught him a nice right hand there, but Eubank's actually riding a shot and taking the sting out of the shot. But Liam has drawn his way back, he's throwing a lot of double jabs, he's getting close, he's roughing Eubank up, and he's pulling himself back into the fight. You see this right hand, the jab, every movement, Eubank is the winner, he's constantly moving backwards, so he's always riding that shot.
Yeah, and you see him pushing in with that 1-2 there, really stepping in, really committing with his punches now. Williams coming in, pushing in behind the double jab as well. Again there, nice stiff jab coming in behind it.
Orders, 10 seconds.
Just looking at Matt's unofficial card, he's given Liam Williams the last 4. Just looking behind me, our TalkSport colleagues, Andy Clark's given Liam Williams only a couple of rounds in the fight. Spencer Oliver, pretty much everything to Eubank Jr. You put the knockdowns in as well. It is a mountain to climb, but on your card it's 3 points the difference. There's 4 rounds to go. How are you seeing it? A bit wider, Enzo?
To be honest, not much wider. I think about I've given Liam 3 rounds. You know, he's throwing himself back into things. He's pushing the fight, and you know those knockdowns have changed the fight. Those knockdowns have changed the context of the fight, the actual approach of the fight. But for Eubank Jr., it hasn't changed much because he's still got the same game plan. But Liam's boxing really well last few rounds.
Yeah, Liam's had to use up a lot of energy these last few rounds though as well, where Eubank just seems to be sitting back here. He's got that big lead. I think he's conserving energy for a big strong finish as well, perhaps.
Hunting Eubank all around the ring, utilising the ropes, and he's got lovely movement, hasn't he, Junior?
Yeah, very light on his feet. He's going both ways. He's predominantly going to his left most of the time. But Liam needs to start cutting that ring off. And if he starts cutting that ring off, he can make Eubank step to the right and catch him with a hook coming in as well.
Good shot.
Good shot. Good shot again
from Williams.
Again, another good round here from Williams so far. He's backing Eubank up. He's finding the better shots.
I mean, it really is a mustering comeback after the 3 knockdowns in the first half of the fight.
Just an example there. You made Eubank throw a jab and he comes straight back in with a double jab. That's more of what he needs to do, get Eubank to throw first. He's showing a lot of feints at the moment, he's showing a lot of movement. He's sort of making Eubank think a bit more. Good shot again by Liam.
Yeah, those right hands beginning to work for Liam Williams. A little bit more regularity, and every time he gets close, the crowd rally. Getting a real ticking off, but no points off. Rough at times, as you'd expect with these two.
Yeah, it's a rough fight, and Liam needs to make it rough, and he is making it rough. You know, he's throwing himself back into it. He can't give Eubank any space, any timing, but he can't make mistakes either.
nice right hand there from Liam Williams. I thought it was another good round there. There's him making Eubank miss, countering with a good jab. You know, Eubank came through with the left uppercut.
But that's more what he needs to do, Matt. Just getting Eubank to throw first, so he can come in behind the shots.
Yeah.
Well, it's a simple plan to do, but it's hard to execute.
Gareth Davis as well, Alan Cattrall all behind us. They've obviously got Eubank in the lead, but differing amounts by 4 or 5. Matt by 3. 9 minutes to go. I mean, it would be an impossible comeback if he could get anything out of this. Surely still a knockdown or a knockout needed, Enzo.
Well, I never thought he'd fight to see the 5th round at one point. You know, he's done amazing to get back to where he is, to be actually in the fight, to be on the verge of not winning a fight, but on the verge of clawing it back.
And it shows after all the trash talking and the hype and the needle and the build-up, these two have whipped themselves into the best shape possibly, mentally and physically.
Yeah, I don't think there was any doubt about that, though. We knew they both would be. So much on the line here, must-win fight for both men.
I really like the fact that Liam's just thrown a couple more feints now. He's really, just little feints with his feet, little feints with his head. He's making Eubank throw first more now. At the beginning, after the first 4 rounds, he was lunging in, he was throwing shots, and getting caught coming in. He had changed his plan a little bit. He's still putting the pressure on, but he's doing it in a different way.
Certainly not looked nearly as comfortable, has he, Junior? That swagger that he did in the first half of the fight, the first 4 or 5 rounds.
Well, the first 4 or 5 rounds, everything was going right for him. He was catching Liam coming in. Liam's changed up. You know, he may not look what he's done is different, but he has little subtle movements with his feet, little subtle movements with his head, just making Eubank Jr. think that a little bit more, making him throw first, coming in behind the shots of Eubank, and he's boxing really well.
That bruise getting worse under the right eye of Liam Williams, really swelling up, purple in colour. Won't deter the Welshman from trying to wrestle this back when it looked completely hopeless.
It certainly did at one point, but I'm really pleased the way he's changed up and he's making Eubank think that a little bit. You know, I still like to see him cut that ring off a little bit more, just shorten the ring, make that space a little bit smaller for Eubank.
Yeah, enormous credit and respect for Liam Williams for doing what he's done in the last 5 or 6 rounds.
Yeah, completely. The fight looked like it was, you know, they had no hope after 4 rounds, 3 knockdowns. It looked like it was almost a lost cause. It was hard to see a way back for him, really, unless he scored a few knockdowns or a knockout himself. But he's, you know, he really has, in my eyes anyway, won the last 5 rounds. And you know, even this round here he's had a good round.
It was a good right hand from Eubank, went in, and again he's trying. That jab from the Booth plan has worked at times. And look, he smiles at Junior and says, come on then, I'm still right in front of you. Maybe I can eat this out. A penny for the thoughts of Senior now. Well, the gap has certainly closed, and when it looked like it was all over for Liam Williams, he's stuck in there, he's straight out to centre ring, but he's only got a couple of rounds to do something about the deficit. If it was a 15-round fight, maybe differently. Looking behind me, Gareth A. Davis and the team, they've got Eubank 3 up, 3 or 4, you've got him 2 up, Enzo. And Matt's got him 2 up as well with 2 to go. Could he force a draw here? Liam Williams, or Eubank finished strong as he left something in the tank?
It's been with the rounds we've been giving Liam, they haven't been conclusive rounds. There's been a couple there which are close. It depends what you actually like. But for me, he's 2 rounds behind. You've got 2 rounds to go. You can force a draw.
So it could be 4 or 5 rounds up Eubank. I mean, we know the 10 and 8 rounds are what they are.
Yes, exactly. You know, it's some judges like the aggressiveness, some judges like the counter punching. So it depends what you like. For me, like I said, Liam's 2 rounds behind. He needs these 2 rounds, maybe a knockdown, which I don't see him getting because Eubank's constantly riding them shots. He's taking the power out of the shots. But Liam's working well. He's changed his tactics. He's worked well. He made Eubank think a little bit more. But the fight's still not over yet.
Yeah, I think Eubank has landed some good shots, but I just don't think he's landed enough of them the last few rounds. It's very sporadic here and there where Liam's been consistent, he's been constant, he's been pressuring, he's been pushing him back, he's been landing some good stiff jabs, some nice right hands, and he's been forcing the pace.
Shot from Eubank Jr. and trying to become a bit more aggressive here in the 11th round. Williams just throwing himself on him, crowding him.
I don't know whether Liam is hurt or something then. He seemed to really want to hold on.
Yeah, looking for the uppercut as well, and down he goes, Williams. And in the 11th round, and it's been counted, and Liam Williams is furious about it, but that is surely curtains for his chances even to get it back.
That could be it.
Yeah. He pushed me, he said to the ref, but no good now. And that came at totally the wrong time. However you've scored the last few, Williams certainly has had so much to say in this fight. But 4 knockdowns, it's impossible now without a knockout. And Eubank's always had that solid chin. What does Williams do? Throw everything at him?
He's got to. He wants to win this fight. He got a round and a half, less than a round and a half. So basically, just got 1 round to do. So he's literally got to get everything he got.
Going to need a knockout. Needs a knockout now, I think, Williams, to win this.
100%. Ever so brave and gallant and skillful to get himself back into this in any way when it looked totally impossible. But that knockdown surely seals his fate. Let's have another look.
No, off balance. I don't think that was a knockdown.
No, off balance. But unfortunately, I think they're going to score next to the ref counted, I think.
No, that shouldn't have been a knockdown.
It was a stumble, it was a push. He was right, Liam Williams, but it was counted. Doesn't matter.
It is what it is.
You're going to knock him out now, aren't
You listening?
Yeah.
If you are going to go for it, which you have to, please be clever with the head. Go in with the head movement, then be aggressive.
Yeah.
But if you go in on that line, he'll time you.
Yeah.
Make him go in and be aggressive. And if he stops punching, you punch up and down like a mother. Understand?
In between those shots. Dips and drops in.
Orders 10 seconds.
You just want no big shot. You get low, you get low.
Seconds out, 12th and final round.
Well, an absorbing, and at times stunning, and at times strange 12-rounder here in Cardiff. Full of everything. We've had 4 knockdowns. Liam Williams has been on the end of every single one of those, but he's won rounds. He's kept himself in it as much as possible, and on Matt's unofficial card, he's 3 behind Chin, and same with Enzo. Others might have it slightly wider.
I mean, it's the knockdowns really that's cost him.
Because some of the knockdowns in rounds, Liam was actually winning the fight. He's actually winning the rounds, but obviously the knockdown takes over.
And now we start to ask the questions. Will they become world champions off the back of this? Will Chris?
Quite possibly. I say quite possibly. It's still an uphill struggle, but you know, he's boxed well. It's been a good performance by him. It's been a good performance by Liam. Let's run it back again. I'd love to see it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see it again. I mean, he's pressed the fight. He's forced the fight. I mean, Eubank's landed the better shots. He scored the knockdowns, but Liam's landed a lot more of them.
Yeah, it hasn't been one-way traffic. Apart from the knockdowns, the fight has been pretty good.
Quite sparkling in 4 or 5 of the first rounds of the fight. Chris Eubank Jr. Times he's switched off, but Liam Williams has switched on, and some really good use of the jab and crowding him and non-stop pressure, but calculated as well from Williams.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming in here nicely behind the jab, he's working the body, he's pushing, he's forcing the pace, he's putting shots together, he's landing shots as well, landed some good 1-2s. But he just walked onto, you know, those couple of those check left hooks or the stiff jabs which caused the knockdowns, and it's really cost him in this fight.
Last minute of this 12 rounder, many people felt it will go the whole way. Right hand from Williams. But he just gets out of the way, doesn't he? Eubank Jr., he rides them.
He's done it the whole fight. He's constantly moving, he's constantly on the back foot. He's totally taking a power out of Liam's shot. Now, some of these shots, if Liam caught Eubank, with Eubank coming in like he caught Liam, you know, it's a different story, but he's been very smart. He knows he's winning the fight. Like, best showboating now, playing to the crowd, playing to Liam.
Yeah, the Welsh crowd booing Eubank Jr., he'll love it. The shuffle. All the bad blood between them. Let's hope we get an embrace at the end, because it's been a really great effort from both of these two middleweights. Eubank Jr. with the 4 knockdowns, Liam Williams with the tenacity, with coming back from the brink and pushing Eubank all the way. There is no meeting at the bell. Junior takes the applause. He knows he's won it, which he has. How wide are the cards? How much credit will they give Liam Williams for what he did? But the right man is celebrating. Eubank Jr. And we don't need the crowd just to calm down, because it's a very passionate one. Eubank goading, just like his father used to do. And I'm sure there'll be all smiles in the Eubank family and camp. Liam Williams is going to go over to him. He hugs Roy Jones Jr., but no, not to his opponent. Sum it up for us, Matt, and Enzo.
It was a strange fight. I mean, in the sense that Williams started well, good first round, but he lost the round, got put down as a 10-8. Same in the second. He did get hurt. I don't know if it was the first or the second. His leg stiffened. It wasn't the one. It wasn't a shot that caused the knockdown, but it was a punch after that. But he really stiffened his leg. So I think after that, Williams was wary of his power. Had to be respectful of his power. But you know, then kind of rounds 5 through to 10, I thought Williams controlled it. He pushed it back. Eubank just didn't do enough to win those rounds, in my opinion.
Not yet. I think he was comfortable. He knew he was in a lead. But I give credit to Liam Williams. He changed things up just by subtle little movements, subtle little things. Didn't telegraph his movements coming in. First couple of rounds, he telegraphed.
Gauging opinion at ringside, people have got it anywhere from sort of 4 to 7 in favour of Chris Eubank Jr. No doubt he has won this fight with 4 knockdowns against him. You can see that, but a strange one, because at times Williams boxed really well. Let's find out how wide the judges have it with Buddy.
This bout goes the distance, 12 rounds, and we go to your judges for the decision. Victor Lockling, Phil Edwards, Terry O'Connor scored the bout 116-109, 116-108, 117-109. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank Jr.
Fairly wide on all 3, as expected by the 4 knockdowns that Eubank Jr. scored, and some of those rounds where maybe Enzo and Matt led towards Williams.